There are a lot of expectations on a lot of players in this current NBA season. There are those who expect LeBron James to go and repeat as champion, as part of the Lakers. There are expectations on the Brooklyn Nets to succeed now that they have Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden in their ranks. And for the Los Angeles Clippers, there is expectations for them to finally go and succeed in terms of reaching the NBA Finals. And for Kawhi Leonard to live up to his potential that's made him a champ. A very rich one at that. Allow us to show you the lifestyle and net worth of Kawhi Leonard. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 7. Net worth. Now, there's no doubt that Kawhi has gone and done a lot in the NBA. That we'll document soon enough. But it might shock you that his net worth isn't exactly as luxurious as you might think. To be clear, yes, he is worth a lot, but not as much as other players at his level. His last evaluation in terms of his net worth was $35 million, which is obviously an impressive amount. But when you consider that he's a two-time NBA champion and Finals MVP, you'd think he'd be worth more than that. But as you're going to find out, he's not exactly what you'd call a typical NBA star in terms of both how he gets and spends his money. He honestly doesn't seek it out that much despite being a top 5 or top 10 player, depending on how you rank these things. Still, that number could go up even higher, especially if he succeeds in bringing a title to the Clippers, as LA will want to shower him in endorsements, should that occur. But even if he does get the money, his lifestyle is one of modest spending. Number 6. Spending money when he has to. Although he's worth millions and has gained his wealth through hard work and dedication to the game of basketball, you wouldn't be able to tell from outward appearances. Leonard is the same man that he was before reaching success in the game and a hefty bank account. He isn't after stardom, although it is an achievement. If you don't believe us, Kawhi drove a Chevy Malibu for the first few seasons of his career, and for very simple reasons. "It's paid off," he said in 2004. "I don't have a car note on it. It's good on gas. It's a good commuter car if you don't want to drive your luxury car." It's hard to argue that logic. He would later get a Porsche, but that was because of peer pressure, and he only drove it on game days. Given that Porsches are expensive and his friends were helping him pick it out, it's fair to think that it was at least over $100,000. But even with that new ride, he still prefers a Malibu, as it's just easier to get around in and not to be noticed in. What this shows is that Kawhi Leonard isn't into extreme showmanship or bragging about the success he has achieved. That's just not his style. He lives as though he has a moderate income, living a super normal middle-class existence. But his bank account is bulging at the seams. He doesn't brag about how amazing he is as a player, although he's earned the right. In one regard, he doesn't really have to, because there are so many others who are willing to do that for him. Besides, just as much as he's frugal with his money in terms of personal spending, he does know how to go and spend it on things that actually matter. Number 5. His youth camp. When it comes to basketball players, you sometimes find that they're a bit arrogant on how they handle themselves, their money, and more. But Kawhi was honestly raised right, so every year he goes and hosts a youth basketball camp in California, which is where he grew up. To him, it's not just a camp, it's a charity, one he's very proud of running, and he does indeed do this every year so that the kids can come out, have fun, and honestly say they've played basketball with an NBA great like him. But it's not all fun and games. He's honestly teaching them how to play basketball so that they can maybe learn to play it themselves. He does the basic things for them by teaching fundamental skills, but even that can mean a lot to some of these kids. This may seem like a rather small way to spend his money, but Kawhi is honestly showing that he cares about people and he wants to do good by them. And who knows? He might just inspire some via these camps to play basketball and be the next NBA great. Again, this shows the more humble side of Kawhi Leonard, stating that he's a man who wants to help others and not go and spend everything on himself. Number 4. He wasn't a top prospect. Despite what many believe, not all major NBA stars, or stars-to-be, come from highly recruited places or have a lot of hype coming into the league. And believe it or not, Kawhi was among these players. Leonard attended Martin Luther King High School in Riverside and won the 2009 California Mr. Basketball Award his senior season. Despite his astonishing accomplishments, Leonard wasn't recruited by any Pac-10 schools. Obviously, pretty much all of them regret that decision now. According to his coach, it was the media and scouts who felt that he wasn't that good and maybe had potential as a tweener player, but not much else. Kawhi took that to heart and worked his butt off, with the results now plain for all to see, which shows that he was driven, and when he got to the NBA to play for the San Antonio Spurs, he would go on to prove his worth once again, by helping them to win a title, and almost two. Number 3. San Diego Mansion. Now, into something that definitely cost him a lot of money. Kawhi originally lived in Los Angeles, where he now plays for the Clippers. But eventually, he decided to go and get a mansion in San Diego. Set on a lot of more than 5 acres, the Tuscan-style estate has been renovated and updated for modern-day living. Oh, and it cost him over $13 million to get it. See, he does spend money. At times. This majestic house has a workout facility, home theater, gourmet kitchen, and 2 offices. There's also a wine vault for wine and food tasting. Leonard's house has 7 bedroom suites. There are 10.5 bathrooms in all for the 2-time Finals MVP and his family. Outdoors, the grounds center on a multi-section pool, complete with a raised spa, a conversation/fire pit, waterfall features, and Baja decks. There are also various patio areas and a tennis court. So yeah, Kawhi is going to be living just fine in this home. Plus, with the money he's gotten over the years from the Spurs, Raptors, and now Clippers, if he wanted another house, he could easily go and get it without any issue. We doubt he'll do it in a big way, but people will find out because they just do. Number 2. Eating at Wingstop. This story is one that is perfectly Kawhi. Kawhi is a man who appreciates getting things for cheap, as we've shown you, which apparently includes him going to Wingstop to get their famous wings, and using promotional coupons to go and get them for free. What's more, he would do this even when he was raking in the money in the NBA. You'd think he would be fine shelling out a few bucks for those wings when he's making millions, but apparently not. Anyway, after a while, Wingstop decided that they were just going to give him the wings he wanted for free. No, really, they're doing that, kind of making Kawhi their unofficial spokesperson. This is just crazy to think about, you know? He might just be one of the luckiest guys around because his favorite restaurant gives him his favorite food for free. How's that for a lifestyle perk? Number 1. Understanding his own value. Here's the final thing, and it's something that very much speaks to his mentality as a player and a person. Kawhi Leonard has always been someone who understood his value as a player and as a person. Given his early start in the NBA with the Spurs and going to 2 NBA Finals with them and leading them to victory in one, you'd think he would be a Spur for life. But after having issues with the doctors over their lack of care over him, he knew he had to get out. So he played his cards right and went to the Toronto Raptors for a year. He played some of the best ball of his life and won them their first NBA title. Then, knowing he had proven his worth and was the hottest free agent, he went and joined the Clippers for big money and even got them to bring Paul George together. He may not like to spend his net worth, but he'll always fight to prove his personal worth to any team he's on. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at the parts of Kawhi Leonard's life and lifestyle and how they tell a certain story about the player? Were you surprised that he focused more on saving his money than spending it? Does this paint him in a certain light for you? Or does it just make you think he'll go and splurge later? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.